Hello there, and well, this is May 11th, so this is Happy Mother's Day for those who are mothers or playing a motherly role. Oh, you know what? Besides Mother's Day, a couple of interesting things also occurred on this day. On this day, in 1933, Louis Farrakhan was born. So I guess we have a happy B-Day, happy born day to him. And also, and I believe 1981, Bob Marley died. I think it was 81. I know it's May 11th, so I'm going to commemorate his death day. But, Mother's Day, birthdays, and death days, that's not the main reason for this video. I decided to document my journey, as this playlist of videos called the Debt and Recovery Journey. The debt is the debt. Did I say it right? Debt. Debt or debt? Debt. No, debt, that's like deep, but debt, I'm talking about money, debt, in debt, But also I was wondering what to name this playlist, but I said, I'm going to put recovery too, because it can't just be a gloom and doom, right? So, first of all, let's say how we got to this point where, and in the title of the video, besides the playlist, the title, Contemplating Bankruptcy. The last, as far as like 1040 job, it was actually for a temp agency. It was in 23. And actually, you see on the video that People Ready, one of the People Ready videos, the guy actually got a few hundred views, which is good for me with this channel, So I said, you know what, I'm an old man, or will soon be an old man. I said, let me switch here, because the temp jobs dried up. I said, well, take this opportunity to switch here. Let me explore some other things. And one of the things I began to explore in 2024 is, I said, let me transition for something I can do as an old man. So I said, you know what? I have this associate's degree in paralegal studies from years ago. I said, let me brush up on that. Let me build upon that. And I decided to get a paralegal certificate. It's online, but you have to be there. Not be there. You have to log in during certain times. It's not like you can just do it at your own pace. It's from LIU, and it's an ABA approved program, so that's a good thing. But I'm almost finished now. But the way how the class is structured and some other things I was doing, it was hard to get like another 9 to 5, so to speak. But I also sought certification as a peer specialist. I said, but I'm going to lean into that too, because that's involves, counseling people, talking to people, and stuff like that, right? But anyway, so it caused some depth, just like other people, when you're trying to transition. Well, you should want to transition too. You kind of, use the credit cards and other things, personal loan, all these things, right? And I don't have debt from fur coats or furniture or anything like that. Some of it's come from, well, a lot of it's some of it came from education, not education, what I'm talking about now, but from other things, from other courses I took. And also, some business ventures that didn't work out exactly the way how I thought it would, but I did learn quite a few things that I can employ for the future. So but when I think about contemplating bankruptcy, I said, nobody really likes to do that, but I said, if I'm going to take that route, this is probably the perfect time to do it when I don't have a lot of if I can actually go the Chapter 7 route as opposed to the Chapter 13 route. The Chapter 7 route is like total, like, okay, I'm broke, I don't have income, or I don't have enough income to pay this stuff, and I don't have any assets. And so I just need to have a fresh start, or because I'm never going to catch, you're never going to catch up, that type of thing. At 13, it's more of like, you're in a lot of trouble, but maybe if they take some loads off, you lighten the load, so to speak, maybe you can work it out. You can do something. You'll have, instead of paying $2,000 a month, and half of that going to interest, maybe they'll break it down and they'll let you keep some of your stuff. Well, that's another thing, when you take that route, the bankruptcy route, people, if you have certain things you get to keep, but other stuff, if it seems like a luxury stuff, like they'll liquidate it, they'll sell it off, So, and also too, coincidentally, as I'm thinking about this, the last course that I have to take in this paralegal, the last class, I'll put it this way, because paralegal course, the last class I have to take in this course is on bankruptcy. So I said, wow, this is going to come in handy. Maybe I can actually, something I will actually use. But I learned something interesting too in the first class. When we took the first class, we got like 5 more classes before we finished. Is that the professor explained, he said, listen, if you're even thinking about doing that, what he's seen done, because he actually worked in that field, is that, a lawyer will contact the creditor and say, listen, my client is about to file bankruptcy and he doesn't have any income, or he has a low income, he doesn't really have any assets, so most likely it's going to get granted. So why don't you just go ahead and discharge this loan, as opposed to these loans, as opposed to trying to get blood from a stone, because going through the motions in court, you're not going to, it's going to be a waste of everybody's time and your resource, and you'll waste even more money trying to get money from him that he don't have. He said a lot of times that works. So you know what? That may be the first. I'll contemplate that, because that may be the first step, because you might not have to actually go through it. Now, of course, like your credit would be, with your credit score, would suffer a lot. Well, let's say my credit score, but if you have charge-offs, things like that, your credit score will suffer anyway. But you won't have the fresh start, because they'll charge it off. But you know what? When I've seen the main people that you have the debt with, like the bank or something or whatever, they'll charge it up, but they'll still sell it. So it'll still be listed there, where other people are trying to collect from you, debt collectors or whatever like that. But when people run your credit, they would see it. They would see those derogatories anyway. But I guess the bankruptcy, that's more of a public, so anybody can really see that. But who's really going to look for that except people that you're trying to borrow money from? Maybe somebody you're going to marry, or something like that. But if you're going to marry somebody, they'll soon know, without even looking up a public record, that you don't have a lot of money anymore. But anyway, I don't want to make this too long, but I'm going to document this journey and see how it turns out. I think it's going to be a recovery, because, like I said, the business and the investment things, they didn't pan out exactly how I wanted, but I did learn a lot. Something I could, if I have a clean start, I do think I could take advantage of that. So someone else may be contemplating going on this journey too, for one reason or another. It could be medical bills, anything, right? So they'll look at my journey and see what I'm going through. And the thing I just said about the letter from the lawyer and creditors, banks, and other creditors saying, listen, he's going to win the bankruptcy anyway, so we might as well just, hey, that may, maybe I'm going to see how that works. Okay, the last thing I say is that as far as, lawyers and stuff like that, what I'm going to do, because I have a Legal Shield membership, for those who haven't heard of Legal Shield. It's you pay like $1 a day or something like that, $30 a month, and I'm going to see if, because they write a certain amount of letters a month. I have to look into the membership and see exactly how many they do. And you can ask them to do it. They're attorneys. The attorneys, well, put it like this, the law firm that's connected to that particular service. So it's not like I would have to go out and hire a lawyer for that. As far as filing the papers, I think I could pretty much do it myself, especially after this class, because it's not a lot that I have to deal with. It's not that complicated, because it's not like a business bankruptcy. It's not like that. And who knows? Maybe this will be the last in the series of this video. I may not even do it. But I rambled long enough. So that's what this playlist is about. Debt and recovery journey. And the first video here is Contemplating Bankruptcy. So let's see how this works out. Thanks for viewing this. Whoa, wait a minute. What happened here? Okay, something popped across the screen. Thanks for viewing this video, and stay tuned for the next, if there is a next.